the solutions to this added complexity, what we're going to see out of this is a whole new level of creativity to solve this.
What is accessibility?
So accessibility is just the act of making your product as usable as possible for as many people as possible. So if people have a vision or a hearing impairment or a motor skill impairment, it's making your website, if it's a website, accessible for those people. Now the interesting thing is it also applies to people on a slow connection. So if you're on a mobile device in bad reception, accessibility is actually something that applies to you in that situation.
How does it affect branding?
So with accessibility, there's a huge number of factors that go into it. It's far-reaching. It can be things like fonts and colors, but it even goes as far as text and the way that you write text on your web page. So with branding, what we're seeing is brands are becoming more simple, a lot more bold text that's visible from far away, or if it's on a small device on a screen, much easier to recognize, like maybe from a distance, at least in terms of distinguishing what the writing actually is.
How does that impact web design?
So in terms of web design, that looks sometimes like a consolidation towards, sans serif fonts that are easy to read from a distance, bold text, evenly spaced letters. So in a lot of cases, it actually means a lot of brands start to look the same just because, accessibility kind of calls for that.
What is your take on how the future of website accessibility will affect brands' uniqueness?
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that we're either in a transition or the early stages of accessibility. And I think that we're learning as we go. So that means right now accessibility looks like, bold fonts that are sans serif, neo-grotesque fonts. That's not to say it'll be like that forever. And I think the more that we learn about accessibility, the more that we learn about the needs that people have, the more we'll realize the freedom that we have in the parts that we don't understand.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think what looks now like an added constraint in terms of now we have to design brands to be accessible as well. I think that's just an extra creative challenge. I work with some really good designers and they rise to challenges like this. I think a blank canvas for them sometimes is boring, and I think that the solutions to this added complexity, what we're going to see out of this is a whole new level of creativity to solve this.
Awesome, thanks Mark.